Albany, New York, workers voted no. Yes, they voted no, and we're gonna figure out what happened here, why, and what's going on. And this is the only
Chris Smalls.
Hey man, this is the only
I read it wrong.
Story this week that features an Indie Media Award winner, and it's a double Indie Media Award winner, as it's both Brett Wilkins, who won for writing, and Common Dreams, who won for best outlet, or one of the best outlets, top outlets. Of course, following a brutal union-busting campaign, Albany Amazon workers reject unionization, and Chris's quote is that the voting process wasn't free and fair. It was a sham election in which workers were subjected to intimidation and retaliation on a daily basis. And I think we're going to see some examples here of what he's talking about. So there's our ALU president, and he's standing outside the fulfillment center outside, was it Shodak, New York, and that's the fulfillment center that was voting. Vote yes. Amazon Labor Union again said Tuesday that it will appeal the results of an unsuccessful vote to unionize workers at the e-commerce giant's warehouse near Albany, New York. An election that labor advocates said was marred by a months-long union-busting effort by company management. Sounds a little bit like what happened in Bessemer. Workers at Amazon's 1 million square foot Shodak fulfillment center rejected unionization by a nearly 2-to-1 margin, 406 to 206. After an aggressive push by company executives to thwart organizers. Quote, we had faced a lot of adversity over the last couple of weeks, and that's Heather Goodall, who I'm hoping to be able to speak with soon. She works at the warehouse, according to the Albany Times Union. We're going ahead and remain strong. We're going to go forward. So instead of requesting a new election, ALU will ask the NLRB to issue a direct bargaining offer. That's interesting. What does that mean? According to More Perfect Union, of course, Amazon has been waging a brutal union-busting campaign for months, firing union supporters, calling police on organizers, and more. And of course, we have record of that. More Perfect Union again said Amazon denied employees representation during dubious disciplinary proceedings. They threatened workers. They called police on organizers on 5 separate occasions, and they subjected workers to anti-union pressure and lies. And here is the Perfect Union tweet announcing what we basically talked about just now. Okay, and again, here's Chris Smalls, that he lamented the vote, that today everyone involved with ALU is filled with mixed emotions. We're proud of the brave workers in upstate New York who stood in the face of a vicious anti-union campaign to challenge a $1 trillion corporation. Agreed. He said, we're also feeling both anger and disappointment that the voting process wasn't free and fair. Again, it was a sham election with which workers were subject to intimidation and retaliation on a daily basis, and even workers who volunteered to be election observers were faced with threats of termination. Faced with increased worker organizing, including the establishment of the ALU and the first ever work stoppage at the company's air freight division in August, Amazon has fired organizers and unsuccessfully petitioned the NLRB to overturn the ALU's victory. They don't want to acknowledge the union. We know this.
Yeah.
Right? So here's another tweet from Perfect Union from last week about them targeting supporters, union supporters with disabilities and illnesses, firing them en masse. And there's a story about Jordan Flowers, and he's out of the JFK 8, and now he needs dialysis and will require a kidney transplant and lost his health insurance. Chris Smalls is doing all he can, but he's over his head, and he needs help, a lot of it, and I don't know if he's getting it. So instead, the NLRB again said earlier this year that the company violated federal labor laws by intimidating and threatening Amazon workers who tried to unionize. Yeah, we know. The board also found in 2021 that the company broke labor laws during a unionization drive at a warehouse in Bessemer, which we talked about for quite a bit. Tuesday's Shodak vote bucks a national trend of labor organizing, of course, across the United States, defying corporate union busting. Workers again at more than 200 U.S. Starbucks locations, and we know of employees at Amy's Kitchen and Apple. Of course, Amy's Kitchen shut down the whole company. Apple and Chipotle, HelloFresh, and Trader Joe's have moved to unionize, as have minor league baseball players. But what they're not telling you is that Chipotle is looking to shut down stores, and Trader Joe's is looking to shut down stores, and it's definitely a workers versus bosses situation right now. And what happened? I mean, again, tons of union busting and propaganda and pulling people into meetings and threatening them and not offering benefits, for example, when, equal benefits or equal pay for unionized shops and warehouses as those that are non-unionized. Claiming that, of course, they need to negotiate a contract with that union in order to give them the same equal raise. But they won't negotiate or sit down with that union in order to do that. Nice little, nice little catch-22 there. So, on top of that...